Ow, ow, ow! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Starlite mini review. I am the projectionist owner and proprietor of the Starlight Drive-In, Wolfman Roy, coming at you live and in charge with the groovy tunings, baby. And joining me is the concession man, the mechanic, the custodian, and all around evil scientist, the chaotic doctor. Say hello, Dr. Chaotic.
Let's see. Roy, we got that shipment of those special herbs and that fry bread, the fry bread we got from that little pueblo. Where do you want it?
Just put it in my office. I got something for it.
Hmm.
Now, don't spill the special herbs and spices.
Anyway, hi,
Anyways,
folks. We're back.
yes. Did you miss us? I know. We're too handsome for you. But we got a banger for you today. We are looking at Nahual 2025. Ricardo Islas as the director. I don't have the cost of this in time because they didn't post it. And I need to post this too. I am such an idiot. I'm going to share my screen right now. Yes, I can feel you stare there, Doc. Yeah, Nahual. Brought to us by Ricardo Islas, Jenny Sanchez, Diego Herrera, Miriam Roman, Krista Acosta, Destiny Campos, Benito Cervantes, Luis Stalin Cruz, Ruth Diaz, and Enzo Gutierrez, played by our director, Ricardo Islas. And a cast of thousands. Doc, your first thoughts.
All right, I pulled out the Prime Video thing to get the amount because that's the only way you can get it.
Right.
We were looking at $1.38.
$1.38. It felt longer.
A little bit. Mainly for because in the middle, especially, there's a little bit of lag, and then at the end, it just kind of rushes through everything.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm running out of time. I gotta get this done. Let's do this, fucker.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not. I hate saying it's not remarkable, but mainly because the main interest in it, I imagine, is going to be the regionality and the specifics of the myth.
Yes, this Uruguayan Lycan myth, kinda, sorta.
Well, it's less Lycan, and it's very pointed out both in the movie and kind of with the makeup. It's more. They keep calling it panther or mountain lion, so it's more like cat, I guess.
Yes.
I will say though, you know what the main kind of drive reminded me of though the most?
What's that?
We're doing the original cat people.
Gonna putting out the fire with gasoline.
No. The 30s one.
Oh.
No, trust me, not enough incest for that one. As far as I'm aware, anyway.
Right. But yeah, I can see where you're going with that. But less implied.
Yeah, especially because the way they how a lot of how the transformation goes, because it's not really like full moon rise, it's all of a sudden panther. No, it's more just generally, I guess, when emotions run high enough, all of a sudden, oh shit, I have the urge to murder people.
Yes. It's like, oh my god, my body's turning into goo and I'm retransforming into a puma person.
Very much.
Yes.
So, and it's definitely interesting to see this specifically around the specific Mesoamerican myth in particular, because while the director is Uruguayan, it doesn't say where exactly they're filming. So it could be Uruguay. It could be, my guess was more southern Mexico, Central America, because we're not fully in South American tropics yet, but we're not in full on desert of like northern Mexico.
Yeah, you got more like a pool, a pond, a river, not a river,
Lake. Well, they
a
call it
lake.
a lake
A
because
lake.
there's a lake and then there's a couple of mountainous valleys. So hell,
Mhm.
we could be in Chile for all we know. This could be the
Yeah,
Andes somewhere.
or Peru.
Or Peru. Yeah, I got vibes a little bit of Peru as well. But it's definitely at least Mexico down, basically.
Right, right. It's a little bit of hometown Mexico. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
not. Yeah. Who knows?
yeah. And the fact that the actual myth itself comes from general Mesoamerican and indigenous cultures of South down, it
Hmm.
kind of makes sense. They don't say specifically which one because, well, unless you go down there and you know, there's not a lot of like specific Mesoamerican cultures that have really been studied as much.
Right, right. The lore is still to be discovered.
Like you got the main big three. Eh,
Hmm.
eh, eh, gonna go
Mm,
all gonna go
mm.
Kendrick in this
Well,
bitch.
four if you count Olmec.
True, because you have the Olmec, you have the Inca, you have the
Mhm.
Maya, and you have the Azteca.
Yes.
You have those main four, but also there are little regional definitely tribes of certain ways. It's just that again,
Hmm.
not a lot of their language and their iconography is known.
Right. We still have people down there today studying places like Sexy Woman
Yeah.
and older temples and cities that are just recently discovered,
Hmm.
trying to find out the little tribes and the micro tribes that were out there.
Yeah, and somehow, some way, most conspiracy theorists will figure out that they're aliens or something. I don't know.
I'm not saying aliens, but aliens.
God.
I had to make that joke. I had to.
No, I know. It's just God. That fucking conspiracy theory. Anyway,
Anyways,
so honestly, like, other than the interesting specificity and surrounding the myth, it's kind of this is kind of your generic sort of werewolf movie. It has
yeah,
the tropes. It has the tropes of a werewolf movie, but it's more specifically. But again, it's more specific to South America and Central America.
right. I'm surprised where they started at first with Chicago.
Yeah, but I'm part of me is not because I saw like her profession. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And B, there's definitely at least some talks of migration in particularly, and probably in reference to the fact that the spirit migrates into the body.
Yes.
So there is a little bit of that, especially because Chicago is kind of has been counted as a big sanctuary city. So a lot of migrants can be
Right.
will either get jobs or be sent up there.
Even about the sanctuary status, there has been a large Latino population around the lakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you don't recognize Chicago Latino, there is also a big Michi Latino
Mm.
population in Michigan, my home state.
Yeah, yeah,
It's its own cuisine, really.
yeah. Like there's
Mhm.
like basically to some chagrin, Mexicans are everywhere. It's just depending on which region of the U.S. you are, you got the specific types.
Right.
You know, you got your Midwest Mex, your Tex Mex, your Cali Mex,
Yes.
and then sometimes East Coast Mex, but a lot of the times Florida is more Cubano, and
It's
then New
Cubano, and
York,
then you got Boguicos and Dominicanos.
yeah, New York is more Puerto Rico, Dominicano, maybe more Cubano, depending on where you look.
Mhm.
Even maybe full on classic España if you go to certain places.
Some even mistaken for Italian. Hey, Uncle Joey. Yeah, I'm a momo. I get it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So honestly, like the biggest interest is that if you're interested in alternative versions of classic sort of monster movies, and this is for you. Otherwise, it's sort of just kind of a classic run of the mill low budget movie.
yeah, yeah. I've seen some of Ricardo Islas movies before, back in the '90s, and they were pretty good for its time. And he's done some TV work with one of the Chicago shows. I can't remember. right?
Um,
Let's, since we're here,
I
let's
know
look.
the producer was an extra on Chicago PD. I think.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. When I remember watching is, let's go back to home. I've seen Head Crusher, and I have seen Mala Sangre, and my Hollywood video.
Yeah.
It is a Uruguayan noir.
Mm.
Search it out, my fellow pirates. We dare you to.
Yeah, because there's probably not, with all due respect to the man, there's probably not a lot of preservation of like Uruguayan cinema specifically. No.
Yes, a little bit. Well, I mean, if it gets distributed here, there's a little bit,
Mm.
but not too heavy. Especially stuff Crowley, where Mr. Crowley, Aleister Crowley becomes a vampire and hangs out in Uruguay.
As I was gonna say as you do as a slight joke, but for some reason I could totally imagine Aleister Crowley doing that if he had the chance.
Yeah, yeah. Why Sunny here? You don't know, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Brits expats end up in Central America somehow.
Exactly. Of course. But I grew up with the '90s stuff right here. I haven't seen La Trampa and Manos. Manos. You know what's funny, Doc?
Hmm.
Manos.
Ooh.
Hands. Your
Hey.
hometown.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for another time, folks. That's for another time.
Oh god.
Um,
Oh god. Us getting into that. Híjole.
oh, we got a trilogy to go through.
Oh god, you're right. Wait,
Yeah.
isn't it more like a sequel and a prequel?
Yes.
Oh god.
Anyways, how would you rate this? Since it popped up,
Uh 6.57 maybe.
I would put it at a 7.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm saying is like, oh, it's run of the mill. And it's like that's not even that it's bad. It's more it's just
It's
if
just
you know classic monster movie tropes, this
mhm.
movie kind of hits it beat for
It's
me.
a little bit, yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah.
just replace the just replace it with the Romani with indigenous people, werewolves with a werecat,
And
and a small town for a resort town.
the yes, and instead of Talbot, you have Montero, Katia Montero.
Yeah. Although I will find it funny that she got this disease in Chicago and then she took it to the resort, which is a little funny. So
It is.
feels
It's kind of funny, yeah.
it just feels like you brought this shit upon us. Like
How
even though there's
dare you?
yeah,
How dare you?
which is I was gonna say you brought us upon this gringo, but like no, she's Colombian.
She's
Then
Colombian, yeah.
then again,
Wait, she's a norte then. Norte beat,
yeah,
pinche norte.
yeah, exactly. There you go.
There we go, yeah.
So
But yeah, I think what really kind of drags it down is the quality.
you can tell this is low mid budget.
This
Yeah.
is low mid budget. I mean, don't look at me. I'm a big low budget, big budget man myself.
It's just
You
that
know,
you can tell where they spent the money, and
yes,
you can tell where they cut the corners.
yes. And this has a little bit of CGI. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty decent CGI. It's not mind blowing, you know.
But it's well done enough to like you got a decent effects house, or you knew somebody who knew Blender decently well enough to
Right,
hide it.
right. You need some tips and tricks, and you know, it
And
was
I
really
will say that from what I saw, the gore is not bad. It's just that there were certain effects that felt a little iffy. Like my favorite example is that you have the mauled arm, but the problem is you can tell the mauled arm is made out of foam because some of the bits look like popcorn for some
popcorn.
reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the leg.
Oh yeah, the leg. Like you can tell like it was prosthetic and then they stuffed a little bit of like an oxtail or something in it so you can get that
Right.
rotting meat thing.
Get that rotting meat thing. Yeah, that's another good one. or the final form of Katia Montero.
And that goes up. I will say the design is not bad, but it
I get what they were coming from, but I
but
think it's
it is a hair away from generic werewolf, if we're honest.
well. I mean, her final form. I mean, not the were puma. What she turns back,
The gored up form, yeah.
the gored up form, the chewed up, spit out form.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
ladies and
you could
gentlemen,
kind of you can kind of tell it's a little bit of latex in a
yeah,
mask because
ladies and gentlemen, you do
there's
not,
like a little bit of separation.
mhm, you do
Yeah,
not heal up afterwards.
yeah. You know, the spirit stays alive, but the flesh is dying.
Dying, yes, yes, and it needs a new form. It's. I want to say Skinwalker, like
Well, well, I looked up specifically, specifically, I did look up Wikipedia Nahual. Um, it's mainly a shapeshifter,
shifter.
mainly,
Yeah, okay,
or a trickster or witch, based upon spirits. Like again,
right,
depending on, of course, depending on the tribe and depending on there's major
right.
differences, but in general, the idea is someone who can access spiritual transformation through a connection to a spirit.
Which brings us back to the Strigoi. No,
Yes.
in a ways.
Yeah, although admittedly, like with most Mesoamerican stuff, this doesn't really say if spirits are benevolent or not. It's just that
Right.
that's the power. There's no real
Oh yeah.
like there's no real general idea of these are good or evil spirits. It's just spirits possess them and they can turn into animals.
Well,
Are they
yeah.
good or bad? I don't know.
Don't know. It's just does what its nature does tells it to.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, did you dig the drama parts? How it's tried to connect us to everyone in the resort.
Ah, it was a nice try. It's
Yeah,
just that a lot. I hate to say this because you can tell a lot of them were like either first time or very little beginning actors.
I mean some of them were I want to say community theater.
Yeah, because it's not that they're bad necessarily. It's just you can tell they didn't have enough.
Right.
What's the word? What's a good way to say it? They're,
You weren't seasoned yet.
yeah,
You got a little bit of that season, but you didn't seasoned.
they're not well seasoned enough to know when to do what. So you kind of have these moments where they kind of feel a little stilted, but they're kind of all right. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's just there's certain parts where it's like, okay, you're doing pretty decent. And then there's other parts that look straight classic, like low budget. You film with your family about 2 weekends, you
Right,
know?
right. So, how much do you think they were in Uruguay or southern Central in Mexico? I mean Central Americana.
Hmm.
How much? How much? Like a couple weeks?
Probably. I would like in something like this. I would at least give it at least 4 to 6 weeks at most.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see
If
that.
honestly, if we're right and it wasn't Uruguay, it might have helped that this might have been the director's hometown and we didn't notice. So
Possibly.
so it's just people that he knew. So like you could take a couple. You can see who was available that weekend and just bang a couple of shots.
Right. We'll
Like
do this. We'll have like a barbecue. We'll have a couple of drinks. Play some tunes.
yeah, like the only quote unquote more expensive location is the shots in Chicago.
Yeah.
But I also get the sense that there is a chance that maybe he probably had family up there, or like maybe maybe he had a house up there, so he could film he could go up there, film a couple of days, and go back.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that happening.
Yeah, because in Chicago, we only really get two locations, and they're both houses. So as far as we're
Right.
aware, it could be the same house. It's just lit differently.
Different, lived differently, shot at a different angle.
Yeah.
You know, shot during the winter time or the thaw. Either way, it's fucking cold.
Cold and wet. Yeah.
Fucking cold and wet. I know how that is. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him like, okay, we got 5 minutes. Let's just shoot this fucker and get back inside.
Especially getting some of those like B shots of like the birds and then
Yeah,
the
the
ending twist.
birdhouses and
It,
yeah,
yeah.
yes. You think he wanted a sequel out of this?
Maybe, but I could also see him saying, "Oh, we can just have fun for a twist ending," because I can't think of I the ending itself is just kind of it's not as satisfying as I thought it would be because it's pretty all right for an ending. It's a classic ending. It's just
Right.
it doesn't have the same punch.
No, it does not.
So yeah, fuck it, twist ending. Why not?
Mm-hmm. What you saying? There is a whole family of Nahuales up there? Impossible.
Maybe
Maybe. Although I think a little bit in me wants to see a Nahual versus Dogman movie.
I can see that.
That'd be interesting. That'd be
Well,
cool.
my question is though, is that how do could they get away with as much filming in like Chicago and up there in the Great Lakes versus what they got down in the resort?
Oh, like guerrilla filmmaking?
Yeah,
It's all guerrilla filmmaking. Except, they thought down south, they found out he's a director, he directs good shit. Let's let him shoot for free over here. We get the free advertisement.
and it also helps that like it's mostly just resorts and a lot of fields and a farm.
A
So
farm, yeah.
as far as
Where
where
the oaks are, yeah.
so yeah, so as far as we're aware, as far as we're aware, he just knows people. Like he owns the farm and he knows a guy who owns the resort, so he just let them fill there a couple of days.
Right, right, right. And he like zones all of this forest. It's like the pure forest is amazing. Forest is
Oh
beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So it's like it's
definitely.
sort of yeah, but this is definitely one of those sort of things where with the limited resources we have,
Mm,
it's all up in the fucking air.
right. You think he made it work? You think when he looked at it,
For
he said, "I made this work"?
for the most part, yeah. Like there are some awkward shots. Like there are some shots during like the rapid transformations, like the attacks. You can tell it's a puppet
Right.
because it has that special kind of shake where it's a hand puppet, where it's a hand puppet, but it has no, but it's only the head and a little bit of the body, and you can see it shaking.
Shaking, yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
then
like
some of the
I
effects they don't go off as well as like the snatch of Mario.
yeah.
Now you see him, now you don't.
Yeah, just and but I will give the movie props that it knows to at least hide the budget by making it more of a mystery.
Right.
Because until the ending, you don't really see a lot of the kills as much. Like
Mm-hmm.
the first major kill you'll see is like probably like you'll
It
see like a slash here and there with the masseuse, but
right.
you don't get to see like full on maiming until she kills the maid.
Man, yeah. Well, no, you see Mario the masseuse get eviscerated. That's
A
where we get
bit.
the prosthetic.
True, yeah, it's just that it's not focused on as much as with the maid.
Right. So we get full transformation with the maid.
Yeah, we get full transformation and we get a full mob body instead of just a leg.
A leg or an arm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the little attack on the Indio community.
Which
It, yeah.
it's not bad. It's just if you're like it's sort of you got to meet it where it is.
Right, right.
Otherwise, we would all be making Birdemic jokes because
Yeah,
the gunshots reminded me a lot of like some of the sound effects in Birdemic and how they were like very canned and very like stock.
right. I got you.
Yeah, like and although there was some pretty decent stuff, like there's the stuff with the trailer where the door bursts open. Like it's decently shot. Just
Right. Mhm.
admittedly, for a door bursting open, there's only one giant piece of wood and no splinters somehow.
Yeah. got a question about that part. Got a question about that whole scene. Did it feel like he had nothing better to work with and just decided to rush in on that?
A little, because it seems like he wanted to set up like a Frankenstein style climax,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't have enough budget or time to set up a full on house burning down, so he just said fuck it and said it escaped. So they just went off into the forest.
Right. Yeah. Also, it felt like he was going with something good with uh, Katia looking for a cure, but then he kind of got off the rails once he started to get angry and stuff.
Yeah, because it seems like he couldn't think of a way to do it other than sorry, there's no cure. You're just stuck with the monster forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and then we go all hell's a popping. I did like the truck scene
Oh yeah,
where
yeah, yeah,
where the Nahual is going after his mother and child,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and Shaya tries to fight off the Nahual, but she gets taken out. And just as
yeah,
you're about
yeah.
to see the mother and child get attacked, shotgun to the face.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Like there are good bits. It's just that you
Yes.
can tell with a better budget and more time, he could have made those bits better.
Oh yeah, it could have been much better. I think. I think if he worked on it a little bit more and he shopped it around a bit, not to like Universal or Paramount or like Cinema Ventures or Wild Eye Entertainment or Terror Films, he would have got something more out of it.
You know who I get a feeling would be actually really interested in something like this?
Who?
Guillermo.
Guillermo? Yeah, Guillermo might do something like this. You know, he
Well,
got
either
hold of
that
it.
or like give him the funding to like do a big budget version because
Right.
Guillermo loves
Right,
his
yeah.
Guillermo loves his Universal monsters.
Oh yeah. What about Robert?
Robert too, maybe. Although the problem is that I give Guillermo like, the chance he'll probably have more of a budget than Robert because Robert will just take the idea and do everything himself anyway.
Okay.
So, like, I love Robert. Don't get me wrong, but that man has some weird control issues when it comes to basically doing everything by himself for the cheap.
Right.
While that works on certain projects, it has hurt certain projects. Mainly the fact that you can count all the relocations in some of his later kids films on like one finger.
Yeah, I can see that.
And like this doesn't really work with like a just an entire green screen set, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, you
Like,
would want a little bit more work into it.
yeah, like if he goes like mariachi trilogy, Robert, I can see it. If he goes like Spy Kids 3 and Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Robert, Sin City, Robert, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, maybe. So Guillermo, so like Crimson Peaks, Guillermo.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, Guillermo. I get the feeling that Guillermo would love to do this as kind of like sort of kind of a mix of a classic Universal werewolf and plus I imagine he would do a lot more interesting thing, do something a little bit more interesting with the
Which
Mesoamerican
was,
kind of angle.
yeah.
Like
I could see it something like Alucarda, maybe.
maybe,
Definitely looking for Alucarda, ladies and gentlemen. Very good Mexican film.
yeah. Like I
Definitely.
mean, like the man's first ever film was essentially Mexican Dracula,
Dracula.
and
Yes.
he did it pretty well. So
Mm-hmm.
I could
Yeah.
see him doing like Mesoamerican werewolf.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could see that too.
Yeah, or maybe Bagheera, or like again, like I keep saying werewolf, but the main movie it reminded me of was the original '30s Cat People.
Yes. The cursed cat. Cats.
Yeah,
With a Simone Senior as the cat person.
Yeah,
Definitely check that one out too.
yeah.
Um,
I will say also, was it weird to you that they almost tried to make it more like a demon near the end?
kind of
It's
like he
like,
needed to be exercised and receive the spirit,
yeah,
especially when Katya's final form shows up.
yeah,
That
attacking the doctor. Yeah, because
actually, yep,
it seemed like up to that point it was purely a werewolf scenario.
right.
She transforms, corrects shit, and then wakes up in her human form, not remembering what happened.
What happened? Yes, yes,
But then, like near the end, like she seems like fully in control. So like, or is it just the spirit that's talking to her?
the spirit
Maybe.
talking through her, maybe, or
Yeah, but
she's so sick and tired of the spirit, and she realizes what it's doing to her that she needed to voice her problem on to somebody else.
maybe it's not really clear.
No, it's not clear at all.
And also, it doesn't really help that while they get into a little bit of the myth of it, the big one is how to kill it is seemingly just uh chop his head off. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that scene is like I was not expecting that.
Yeah, because like bullets can't hurt it. Like she gets shot, yeah, she gets hurt, but she runs off, and it's like,
I mean, she took a full blown blast to the face with the shotty.
yeah. So it's like, is she invulnerable? Is she not? Is she just really really tough? Like, is it a
Right,
Highland? Is it a Highlander thing where only the head has to, where the head has to be chopped off completely, or if they just shot her with enough bullets, she would just eventually fall down? Like, what was the
right.
plan? What's the kind of
That,
limit there?
that's the thing that I think also he didn't know how to finish off.
Yeah, because like I was surprised it was the doctor that did the kill. I thought it was gonna be like a saving from the husband or the son and kind of like
Right,
tie in that whole plot thread.
right, right. But not strong, powerful vet, Trinarian,
Pretty much.
decapitating Fluffy.
That actually, yeah, that was what the design reminded me
Yeah,
of a little bit.
Fluffy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mainly in the mouth and the snout.
right,
Like yeah, that, but the eyes were a lot more squinty and kind of cat like.
right, right. Yes, not baboonish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is, that's the problem we're talking about. A lot of this is sort of it's if you know your low budget monster movies, it's that, but with Mesoamerica. If
Right.
you don't know it, it's just trying to be a high budget monster movie,
Yeah,
but with
and
Mesoamerica.
that's sort of I think the hard part of selling indie films to people, low budget indie films to people.
Like unless they have like a really interesting, really big twist on it, it
Right,
it's not like it's hard to sell on something they can already seemingly get a quote unquote better version of.
right. Plus, not many people are into the low budget. See, with me, I was sort of birthed into it. If it wasn't the drive-in culture, it was direct to video. It
Mm.
was Cinemax, Showtime, the movie channel. I'm not talking about the risque stuff, folks. Although the risque stuff, very good. Don't get me wrong. But it was the stuff that needed to fill time with.
Yeah, and I got into it via MST3K and like review and riff culture where while while I make fun of it, there's a weird appreciation for it.
Right,
Normal people probably won't be able to look at it and like all they're gonna see is this looks cheap.
right,
And I think that's why like a lot of like low budget movies that get big are more drama based or
mhm,
dialogue based.
right.
Like you have to either be really, really lucky or really, really good at hiding the cheapness in order to get like a low budget genre piece going.
Or really know how to shoot it.
Oh yeah.
And all I can say is, yeah, some of this stuff is stupid, but at least they try, and
Yeah,
that's all
that's
you can do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like that's what kind of makes like we've had this conversation multiple times, and we'll probably have it multiple times more.
Sometimes
Is
more. Yeah, we got to hit it home. Be like,
yeah, that
yeah,
idea of like what makes a movie bad, or what makes a movie so bad it's good, or what makes an
mhm.
enjoyable bad movie. And simple fact of it is that while I'm not saying this is fully bad, there are some aspects of it that are pretty
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. But the
yeah.
thing is, but the main drive for I think you and me can agree on is you can tell they at least were trying to make a good movie, or they were at least having fun while making
When
it.
making the movie, yeah, and that's all you can really do.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, when you only got like $40 in a case of beers, sometimes you got to make do with what you got.
God, yeah. Hey, I got this oatmeal and I got this spirit gum, mummy mask. You
Yeah,
know,
well, let's see. I got an extra little couch in my cushion, a little extra change in my cushions. I think I can buy some more fake blood with that.
yeah. Dad gave me $20 for my birthday. I can buy a new camera with that.
Yeah, and I think, well, for us, that's half the fun. It's
Hmm.
also sort of the thing like you kind of have to really, I guess, would the word be like inoculate yourself?
I wouldn't say inoculate. I think if you were, I don't think I was inoculated. I think I had an appreciation, acquired taste for the cheapness, and I understood where it was coming from
So you
and what
would,
they were trying to do with it.
so it's getting more of a taste for it than anything else.
Right, right. If you're, I'm trying to think of. I think it's if you're into the script, if you're into the story, no one can do no bad, unless you really did bad.
Yeah, like because even like we said, oh, this is kind of generic. Like it's done pretty well for what is a basic ass like monster movies.
Not the movie, yeah.
So it's I hate to say turn your brain off when it's more like reconfigure your brain a bit.
Reconfigure your brain, because you. I think it's like trying to be a survivalist
Mm.
in terms of meals. If you get where I'm going with this,
Yeah, I get you.
you're used to gourmet meals, 4-star diners, uh, Michelin. Then you find yourself in the middle of nowhere with nothing but grub worms and cat o' nine tails. And you just have to make do with what you got. You kind of acquire the taste for it. So at one point you could just look around, find yourself an iguana, and just put it on the grill
Yeah,
and think nothing of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Although you say barbecued iguana, the first thing that pops my head is Walla Voodoo, and I hate it.
I'm on a
On the
Mexican
Mexican radio.
radio. I'm on a Mexican whoa
Oh,
radio.
radio.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, but it's sort of like that. You train yourself to take on anything, and you see it. I don't want to say you open into a new wow, new vision. You just can look at things that people might think are cheap and bad at another angle.
Yeah, you get
You know,
it's not a mind blowing new perspective, but it's still a new perspective.
perspective. Yes, yes. It's like turning something and realizing, wow, it looked like that. Okay, them grubs were nutty. Wow, I'll make some more like popcorn next time.
Yeah.
You know, that buried trash. Ew. I'm definitely not going after trash pandas anymore. Um, but yeah, it's sort of like that.
Yeah.
And you train yourself. You watch it over and over. With me, I had no, I had no choice really. I mean, I was grabbing anything I could out the video store with new releases didn't awaken me to anything. I was just searching the place. I was channel surfing. I had nothing to do on Sundays.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do on holidays because back in the day, my holiday was where I lived in Florida. Um,
Yeah. And like it's like, oh, there maybe there's not a model equivalent. There is. It's called surfing through Amazon Prime.
and yes, it's surfing to Tubi. You know,
Like sometimes you gotta take it. Sometimes you look through a streaming service and you gotta take a chance on something it recommends you where it looks like a weird title, generic cover, actors you never heard of. But it's free. Why not?
why
Click.
not? Yeah, yeah. It's a pleasant version of Russian roulette.
Yeah. The only thing that's getting killed is time
Your
at
time,
best.
yes. All right. Anything you want to do with this? If we're doing this on critic lists, where would you put it?
I would say 65.
So rad.
Just about, like just on the edge. Like it's
Just
half.
on the edge of rad.
Yeah, it's like it's half past decent, but it doesn't go any further.
Right. Right. I would be in rad too. I'd be more in the 65 position.
Yeah,
You know, maybe 67, 68 a little bit.
yeah,
'Cause I
like
appreciate the effort. So here's a little tip. You know.
yeah, like if
Uh,
nothing else, like while it's not like mind blowing, like if to use our other rating system, this is perfect for like Sunday viewing.
yeah, this is Sunday viewing. Uh, yeah, definitely. Would you like buy this physical media or would you stream this again?
I'll probably stream it again because again, I enjoyed my time, but I don't might see myself coming back to it as much.
I got it. So it's like I appreciate the effort. Here's the money. Let's see you do something cooler.
Yeah,
Mm.
like who knows? Maybe secretly this one gets picked up by somebody and they give them a bigger budget to do something amazing. I don't know.
No. Yeah, the homeless one might take him in.
The weird thing is, I could totally see Larry Feston do that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
No, I can see Pheasant do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like him or like hell, maybe I don't know. Maybe Shutter finds this movie and decides to make it an original. I don't know.
Bloomfield? I mean Bloomhouse?
Maybe like they're always looking for an international audience, so I can see them.
Right.
Like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're on the front lines, but we also know that there are greener pastures past the trenches.
Right. Yes. We know there is Flanders Field.
Yeah.
We're just trying to reach it. So like the language, little bit rusty, little bit juicy. There is some pinches in there and
There are some curse words and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but like it's not like it's not like full on like Spanish Tarantino with it. No,
Right.
of course
I
not.
mean,
It's just little bits and pieces.
situation.
Yeah, it's little bits and pieces here and there.
Mhm. Nudity. Eh.
A guy does get murdered with his dick out.
Yeah. The wang is out, so that would be in the middle.
Yeah, and like there's some more like not bare clothes, but like very scantily clothed, and there's like a sauna scene and all that. So
Mhm.
it's like that plus the guy, poor dude, dying with his pants down and his dick out. Maybe in the middle.
Maybe in the middle. Yeah. What else? Violence? Yes, please.
Pretty good. Not like super gory, but there's a decent amount.
Mm-hmm. And entertainment value. Oh hell yeah!
There is. It's just it definitely varies from person to person.
Right.
Like for us, it's a fun look at like what another different director can do with a low budget, and it's cool to see. Again, it's cool to see a different take on a classic. For others, maybe at best like a really good drunk watch or a really good riff
Riff
watch.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Um, what else is there? Uh,
There's a little bit of sexual content,
there's a little bit of sexual content. I mean, Mario's scuba skills is amazing.
apparently,
You know what I'm saying?
and like there is some like temptation there, but it's not like full on. Like we don't get full on sex scenes.
No, 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 no. I mean, we get some foreplay, but that's pretty much it.
And I will say though, an interesting case on it. I am kind of glad, but also kind of surprised to see how a lot of his cast was like older
Yes, yes.
people, like a lot of
More in the
old,
middle age and
like
older.
older middle age. Yeah, like
Mhm.
I think there were kids, obviously, and there was like younger women and like one younger dude, but a lot of the others were like earliest would probably be like late 20s, maybe. Like
Late 20s, early 40s, maybe.
if we're not counting like some of the staff and then like some of the indigenous like
Hmm.
kids.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you do have like the owner's son, but he definitely
Hmm.
looks like they applied him to be in university, but he definitely looks like he's like in his, at least in his mid 20s.
Right. Oh, you mean Gutierrez's son?
Yeah, Gutierrez is his son. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, he was mid 20s at least.
yeah,
And then you got Gutierrez who's like mid 50s, maybe.
around there. Yes.
And
Mhm.
and Katsian is like mid 40s, maybe.
Yeah, like you can tell it's like working and like how like with the setup, she's like, I'm gonna take this vacation. I fucking need it, and they owe me.
Right. They owe me bad from that last situation.
Yeah. Although I will say, apparently they decided this when they went to the Middle Age, they decided to go the Golden Girls route a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm mainly talking about the conversation between Katya and what's her name? Not
Martina. Not Martina.
the
Let's go back.
the really drunk best friend,
It's not not Mercedes. Matthias. No,
Matya.
not, no, no,
No,
that's the son. That's the son. No, 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 no.
yeah,
Wait, no, 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 no. Son's Fabian. So
yeah,
yeah, that could have been Matthias.
no, Mateas is a is boy's name, so I think that's
Okay,
one of I think that was the helper.
right. Okay.
Um,
So,
was it I? No, Irene was
yo, no, Yana.
Yana. Yeah,
Yana.
yeah. Because like they straight up have some a little bit of like kind of generic like cougar milf talk a little
Right.
bit.
Yes.
Like I'm getting away from my ex husband. I like fresher. I like a little fresher meat, which
Hmm.
is a little dirty, but also considering what she turns into, it I guess it's appropriate.
It is.
So like I imagine that was kind of like a little wink wink nudge nudge nod.
Hmm. By the way, if you want to insert stuff in the back of our podcast, the Hollow Notes would definitely fit right now.
Whoa, here she comes.
Watch
Watch
out
out,
for
what she'll
she'll
chew
chew
you
you up.
up.
Oh, here she
She comes. She's a man eater.
comes. What a great gay couple.
No, no,
Anyway,
no. Hetero life mates. There's a difference.
okay, so they're hetero life mates. All right.
Yeah, it's like it's a slight like they're not gay, but they're not really that straight. So there's while you're happy for them for fighting wise, you're pretty sure they're beards. You just don't say it out loud.
No, wait. So there's like a gay limbo?
More like
Or
more like more like you're not sure if they're just really effeminate or if they're in the closet.
okay, okay.
Like it's the same.
They
It's
go
the same,
antiquing, but they go antiquing for like military props.
or like gas station signs.
And yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I love how I love how this Tom from a monster movie talked to gay radaring fucking Hall and Oates. What are we
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, yeah. I need to reintegrate that somehow. Anyways, so this is a 7 to you, a 7 to me, a rat to you, a rat to me.
Yeah, pretty much in all
And
agreement.
you're saying it's a streaming for you.
Yeah,
I say I'd own it.
Yeah, because you like to at least
Definitely.
have like a piece of like legitimate and it's in a way to support the actual
Right. You supporting the
filmmaker.
director and the filmmaker. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, streaming's all right, but I think owning physical medium would be a lot better.
yeah, and also I can't really imagine Prime Videos giving this dude a lot of residuals.
Uh, I think out of what we put in, he's probably getting a quarter of that,
Maybe less.
maybe less. But definitely, guys, at least put the 2.99 down to rent this.
Yeah, like it's good a rental. Like if you like it, then buy it and support the
Yeah.
dude. Otherwise, it's definitely at least a rental.
Hmm. Yeah. Put the money in.
Um, well, either that or at least until somehow, some way, this ends up on Tubi because they always all somehow they seem to end up on Tubi.
Some way, it's always on Tubi. But no, really, support Uruguayan cinema.
Oh yeah.
Support Nahual. Nahual. Anyways, I picked the first two. You get to pick this one now. What you got
Uh,
for the next mini review?
hmm. Uh, let's see.
If you need a wheel, go ahead and spin it.
Well, should we should probably at least explain our like parameters for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
minis.
yeah. So what it is when we started this out, and we were starting out on critic list, we wanted it a way to advertise. So we thought, hey, let's do a mini review. We'll review an interesting movie. Maybe on the exploitation side, maybe on the driving side. Something that nobody's ever touched, and we just talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So when we focused mostly on streaming, but I think this year we're going to open it to theater releases too, aren't we? If you want.
Well, at least ones we can actually catch.
Right, right, right. I mean,
Because you
we're
got to
not
keep.
going.
Because
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was about to say, because you got to keep in mind, like, while you're more in like one of the big like demographics
Yeah,
for that sort of
yeah,
thing.
the test cities, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. So there's
Which
a
I
chance.
find interesting.
Well, it's because they're more focused like in mid and east Texas a lot of the time for that. And then if you're going more west, you might as well just go further and go to like Nevada or
Phoenix,
Arizona
yeah,
or Phoenix or even hell, even go just straight to California.
California, yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that part. I mean, you wanted to get some flavor out there. And I wouldn't
And
go for Dallas. I'd at least go Houston, El Paso, San Antonio, and then Austin.
it's mainly Austin, Dallas, and Houston are the main focus ones. Maybe San Antonio if they feel like they can get one in the city.
Okay, okay, yeah. I'm in Pittsburgh, so we get the artsy fartsy films that you like to say, which I don't like saying.
Yeah, that does like as much as it's easy for a way to us to explain it to someone. To us, it does almost sound like a slur.
A bit, a tiny bit. I mean, it's not hurtful or anything. It's just, oh, you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah,
But no, we're gonna try to go into theatrical if we can, but we're focused more on streaming networks.
yeah. Although, admittedly, one of the big things that we decided on was that we're not doing any of the real big ones.
I
It's
think
mostly
so. Yeah.
just ones we share.
Mhm.
Like the biggest ones we do is like Prime, maybe depending, and then
Prime and Tubi. I would
Tubi
say
is another good one. For more niche ones, I know we agreed to do both Criterion and Shutter.
Consider. Yeah, and then I threw in Found as well.
Yeah, so basically it's a way for us to like get a variety without dealing with like specific IPs or like specific rights
Right.
issues.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we also want to see if we can cover something that not everybody's touched.
Yeah,
Like if I was choosing next time, it would definitely be at least out of Criterion's Argentinian War series.
that is a good one. Yeah, I think I'm narrowing it down to Criterion. It's just I let me look at us. there might be one or two specific ones that I've been thinking about looking at for a while. It's
Right.
just it's one of those things where it's like, what would be good to talk about? I don't know. Let me just search through my back catalog.
Like, oh yeah,
All fucking like
you,
200 and something movies. You know?
yeah. If you look at my just watch list, you're gonna be there for a while.
Yeah. Um.
So
Actually, you know what? I do have one that's been on my mind a bit.
okay,
Where is
just
it?
remember you get the next two because I picked the first two.
Right, right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know what? We're doing Criterion.
Okay.
We're going. You know, yeah, we're going someplace a little more interesting than just our usual wheelhouse.
Right.
How about we go to one of the earliest examples of one of the most interesting directors and director teams of all time.
And what do you got in mind?
Uh, Next time, why don't we do 1984, directed by Joel Cohen, Blood Simple.
Blood Simple.
Yep.
I'm down for some Blood Simple.
Yeah,
Okay.
John Getz, Francis McDormand,
Torment. Yeah. Yeah.
Benedea.
Mm-hmm. I could do some Blood Simple.
Yeah, like to see where like it's specifically under Joel, but I think both Joel and Ian have writing
No,
credits. I
Joel
think.
Neeson has credits. Yeah.
Yeah, so like we get to see where like the Coens really got their start, and like
You did get a little bit Michigan flavor in there too.
that, and like talk about some of like them having one of the more interesting careers of like well-known director teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at Joe and Ethan Cohen's catalog, I'm not gonna lie to you, even for like our tours, it's a bit fucking random.
A bit.
When you
Mm-hmm.
like it, like we're starting with Blood Simple, which from what I understand is more like a noir, like kind of
It's
noir, like
definite
thriller
noir. It's
thing.
noir. Like they wanted. There's a special. I think there's a special criterion um, that they added the new. They just did it in black and white instead of color to give it that
Mm,
noir taste.
yeah,
I think it's Criterion. Please correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Um, yeah, I'm gonna drag this down so we don't get demonos. Wait, we are monetized? We are?
maybe
We're
I
not?
don't know.
No, we're not. We're not.
Yeah,
I don't care. But no, yeah, I think Criterion gave it a noir flair, gave it like black and white.
yeah, and the thing is, you look at some of the titles that these guys have done. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, you know them for like Fargo and The Big Lebowski and like some of these kind of weird off-brand like dark comedies, but there's also stuff like fucking No Country for Old
Old
Men,
Men,
which
yes.
is essentially them doing fucking Cormac McCarthy, and
Hmm.
he's kind of legendarily, oh Jesus. But there's
Yeah,
also stuff like True Grit
True Grit,
and
Ballad of Buster
the
Scruggs,
Scruggs, and then there's like the real
Serious
dark,
Man.
yeah, like the real dark comedies like Barton Fink
Hmm.
and Serious Man. Like Serious Man gets full on fucking weirdly existential.
It does. Inside Llewellyn Davis,
Yeah, and then randomly they just decide to do a murder mystery set in old school Hollywood with Hail Caesar because why not, yo?
or they love noir. You cannot deny them that.
They do, but also it just seems like it's mostly noir or black
Period.
comedies in random fucking places.
Right. Raised in
Sometimes a mix
Arizona.
of both.
Mhm.
Raised in Arizona too, yeah.
Miller's Crossing, Hudsucker Proxy. Although I would like to do a double one on um, Starlight proper with the Hudsucker Proxy and a Japanese film I liked. It looked like it was a match made in heaven for it. I just gotta remember the name of it.
And you
Is
also
it
gotta love how their quote unquote worst movie is them trying to remake an old British comedy starring Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks? Yeah. What was it?
Lady
The Lady
Killers.
Killers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lady Killers.
yeah. You can't pull off lady killers.
Yeah, and hell, technically Joel and Ethan have kind of split and they're doing their own things right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
Joel did a Macbeth for Apple TV for some reason,
Right.
and then recently Ethan's got some big stuff for Focus with Drive Away Dolls and coming out this year with Honey Don't,
Mm-hmm.
which that does remind me of that one idea for a double feature I wanted to do, which was the contraction movies
Right.
where there's like a don't or it's or something on that in the title because
Right.
there's weird because like if you do anything with an apostrophe t at the end, there's like
It's batshit fucking insane.
that and there's like hundreds of thousands to choose from.
Right.
I mean, I can think like there's a reason why Edgar Wright, when they did Grindhouse, his trailer was for a movie just called Don't.
Don't. Yes. Don't go into the forest. Dot dot dot. Alone.
Or Don't
Don't
Answer
go
the
in the
Phone.
house. Or don't answer the phone. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
answer the phone. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that is a fucking exercise within itself. But
But that's for another day.
uh,
If you liked what you're listening to, what you're seeing, please focus your eyes and ears on not only the Starlight, but the Red Light podcast, which focuses on found footage, and OTEP, Over the Years podcast, which is Doc's little baby. Over at Wolf's Den podcast at podbean.com. Anything you want to add?
if you want to hear my ramblings and maybe see whether or not there's stuff I liked on social media, the only real one I share is Chaotic Doctor at Blue Sky .bluesky.social, where I just kind of do whatever the fuck I want. Of course, you can also check us out on Twitter at RPO Starlight. You got love mail, hate mail.
Yeah. Some Nahual mail, some Mesoamerican mail, some share me your favorite Uruguayan dish mail.
Yeah.
Send it to Starlight podcast at protonmail.com. And of course, you can catch us over on X, Twitter, Zitter, whatever you prefer, over at RLP Starlight, capital R, capital L, capital P, capital S, Starlight. I post random images of awesome goodness, the box sets I'd like to own, and our own podcast right there. So give us a recommendation, commendation. Just say hi. We'd love to hear from you. And with that being said, anything else to add?
Nah, just keep calm, carry on, and yeah.
Think of England.
Well, actually, we're going to like the American Midwest, so it's more like take care of yourselves, don't you know? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you betcha. So make sure you put the speaker on the little telephony thing. Then you put your headlights on and you follow the nice Marcus out to the exit. We'd love to have you back. Yeah, see ya.
God, if I ever go up to the Midwest and they find out about this, somebody there is going to politely try to kill me.
Oh no, we just kill you with kindness and fudge. Lots and lots of fudge.
I can go for some fudge, actually.
Oh, let's go to a little place called Mackinac Island. Yeah.